Okay, AP Euro. I welcome back my seniors. I hope everything is well. I hope everything is well with your families. Remember, if you need anything from me, you can email me at the emails I posted, and I will get back to you on anything. Okay. Again, I hope everybody's well, and this too shall pass. Okay. My understanding is that the AP exam is going to be primarily a long essay, so it's a free response essay. And I think you should be looking at periods up to Bismarck and at best World War I. I don't think they'll cover anything else. They said periods 1 to 6. So make sure that you have covered periods 1 to 6 and that you can answer a variety of free response questions on it. It's going to be a 45-minute exam, so you should continue to practice. I think the Renaissance and the Black Death, the effect of the Black Death on the Renaissance, on creating the Renaissance, on transforming feudal society and creating a new, vibrant society based on commercial wealth rather than land ownership and hierarchy. That may be one of the focus of this test, given the current situation. In addition to that, you may want to see how European exploration and globalization led to major illnesses, plagues affecting Native Americans, and how Europe was able to transform Native Americans in part because of the biological factors, that is, disease and plague, and how, for example, in Latin America, disease and plague may have anchored Roman Catholicism because it showed the native empires, and particularly native peoples, that their gods were not as effective in warding off illnesses, which were basically ascribed to divine origins, as the Christian God, and therefore Christianity was welcomed and embraced very quickly in Latin America. And it transformed a native society in many ways into a hybrid society, which is the Latin American society, but it's a byproduct of globalization. So you may want to look at how illnesses, how the plague, how smallpox, measles, and other European plagues that Europeans had antibodies to. We know all about antibodies. Basically, won their battles for them. In fact, conquered the Americas because Native Americans died at a very high percentage, and in some cases this was ascribed to the superiority not only of European arms but of European gods. That is, their religion was superior. This obviously affected the native peoples, who then became Catholics, Christians, because they saw how children after baptism, that is, native mestizo children, mixed race children, after baptism were saved. It wasn't the baptism that was saving them; it was the antibodies handed to them by their fathers that had saved them. But nonetheless, the association with religion was clearly there, because in pre-modern times, your gods had to triumph, and they had to provide protection for you. If they didn't, then you look for other gods. And that's exactly what seemed to have happened in Latin America, which allowed a transformation of native societies into something not completely European, but certainly a hybrid of both native ideas, native traditions, native art, native foods, and the language and religion and culture. Although the politics were interesting, because as you remember, the Spanish, when they arrived, they saw a system that was very, very understandable to them. They recognized, it was very recognizable. That is, you had an emperor at the top, you had priests, you had nobility, and then you had workers and slaves. So that was very understandable to the Europeans, so they could actually incorporate many of the aspects, particularly of the great native civilizations, the Aztecs and the Inca, the Mexica and the Inca. and that this kind of led to 300 years of experimentation and transformation of the society. But it was made possible in many ways by the disease, by the plague. So you may want to look at that aspect. And you may also want to look at how globalization kind of led in the late 14th century and beginning of the 16th and then the 17th centuries into a period of where the Columbian Exchange not only brought foods and culture, they brought vectors, disease, and it was a globalized world after that. In fact, Columbus, we discussed, should be recognized as the father of globalization because he brings together the entire globe. And by doing that, it begins interaction between the old world and the new world, and then that creates a whole globalized infrastructure where you have economics, culture, food, but you also have disease. Disease that was not found in America were brought by the Europeans. So it completely globalized, not only animals, but all these other factors. And you may want to think about that as a possible question on the AP exam. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Again, if you need me, if you need to get in touch with me, email me. You can use the both the school and the one that the other that email that I put there, which is fairly easy. Jose Gomez-Rivera at yahoo.com. And I will get back to you on anything you need, anything your family needs. I will try to get to you. Okay. All right. I will try to do a live session on Thursday. I'm hoping to do that on Google Meets, but I will post that link on Wednesday. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.